Lola Houth was the lead dancer of the José Limón Dance Company. She was married and the mother of a baby girl when she died from a self-induced abortion. Even though she was using an IUD for birth control, Lola became pregnant. The doctor told her that the IUD would probably cause the baby to be deformed, but that removing it might cause a miscarriage. She decided to have the IUD removed.
She went back for the scheduled appointment, and he said, "I'm sorry, I have consulted with colleagues, and I cannot do anything that could implicate me in an illegal act." And she said, "Well, then I'm inclined to believe I will do it myself." And he said, "All right, well, I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you how to do it. And when you're in the process of miscarriage, you can call me, you can go to the hospital, and then I'll be able to help you without jeopardizing my own position." She punctured a vein and got air into her bloodstream. You know, we have to talk about this. It's important. You know, that it isn't just some anonymous person that nobody knows who's had an abortion, but people right next to us in our community, in our lives, and some of them don't survive.
Before abortion was legal, many women died from self-induced abortions. Now, once again, hospital emergency rooms report treating women who resort to unsafe methods. Chris was a sociology major in her senior year at a state university when she discovered she was pregnant. Like many young women her age, she was not ready to have a child. She obtained an abortion at a clinic during a wave of protests.
Please consider the life that you're carrying. You'll never forget this. This day will go down in the rest of your life. You'll never get over it.
Chris became pregnant again after her birth control failed. She did not want to go back to a clinic because her first experience had been so disturbing. Chris had been studying natural medicine and decided to use herbs as an abortifacient. Soon afterwards, she began to cramp.
When the cramping got really bad, she thought she was aborting, and she didn't go to see anyone. And I got a call at 4 o'clock in the morning, and she had gone into convulsions in the bathtub. She was taken to the hospital, and she'd had cardiac arrest. Then they'd found out that she'd had an ectopic pregnancy, and that cramping that she was feeling was that she'd been hemorrhaging, and that's what killed her. She really wanted to go to somebody. She didn't want to be in charge and take all this responsibility. I think if there had been somebody for her to go to, that she would still be alive.
I was 17 years old. I was married. And 10 months after I was married, I had a baby girl. She was very ill, very jaundiced, and the doctor told me, the OBGYN who had delivered her, told me that if I ever had another child, I would die. 3 months later, I was pregnant again. And I was absolutely terrified. So I went back to him and I said, "Am I pregnant?" And he said, "Yes." And he said, "I told you not to get pregnant." And I said, "But you didn't tell me how not to." I couldn't have that baby, because if I did, and I died, who would take care of the little baby I had? And so I asked the young women where I worked, and they sent me to a woman, and she put, I think it was a strip of slippery elm bark up my uterus. 2 days later, I had a screaming fever, and I was in such pain. And so I went back out to see this woman. And she said, "I told you not to come back." And I said, "I have nowhere else to go." And she put her arms around me like that. And she just held me up to her chest for a minute. And she said, "Honey, did you think it was so easy to be a woman?"
Efforts to limit women's reproductive health care are gaining traction nationwide. Mississippi is one of many states where politicians are working toward eliminating access to abortion.